I am joined inside Studio S, as I always am, by the one, the only Markstradamus. That is Anita Marks from ESPN, who told you here last week in this space, Denny McCarthy or nothing. And guess what, Anita Marks? You nailed it. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. Mama's got a few new pairs of shoes.
Oh, yeah, I don't blame you. Since I tailed, Dad's got a new pair of shoes. He's got a new wedge. Went to Golf Galaxy, bought himself a new wedge with that Denny McCarthy to win stuff.
I love that. I love that. And if it wasn't for Keegan Bradley feeding off the hometown energy, born and raised in Vermont, went to school in Massachusetts. I think like his entire family and friends, and I think everybody that was in attendance was a part of Keegan Bradley's crew. But kudos to him. But this is what's so great, right? This is what's so great about Sport Trade. Is if you got in on Denny McCarthy early, and you and I were texting on Friday morning, and I was just like, "Hey, dude, did you see the top of the leaderboard?" And
I saw it.
And we both sold, right? And so
at the top, yeah, 14 times your money, 14 times your money on a golfer who did not win because Denny McCarthy was the top of the leaderboard on Friday. Something that always surprises me about Keegan Bradley is how tall he is. He kind of looks like Jack Skellington from Nightmare Before Christmas when he's like using a wedge. He's so like bent over and tall that it always just, I can't believe it. I can't believe somebody that tall uses clubs that short. It always, for whatever reason, throws me for a loop. I'm not exactly sure why.
He does look funny. But kudos to him. And I like him. I know we're going to get into our Rocket Mortgage picks in just a second. I do like him a little bit. He wasn't in my top 5 coming in. I've got 5 golfers for you that I think that our viewers can invest in right now and hopefully will pay dividends maybe at the end of the day on Thursday, if not Friday, maybe even on Saturday. But I do believe that Keegan Bradley is going to carry over a little bit of that magic into this tournament.
So we'll talk about the Rocket Mortgage. I'll pull the prices up of the top guys available for you right now on Sport Trade. Detroit Country Club, 2 of the last 4 winners in this event have had 0 history there. So it creates for kind of an interesting dynamic. You don't necessarily have to know the course that intimately in order to go super low and win this event. Kind of a crowded field. No Scheffler this weekend, but we've still got the resurgent Ricky Fowler leading the board at $6.50 per share. That's the equivalent of $14.10. Tony Finau at 6 at plus $15.35, the same as Colin Morikawa, Hideki Matsuyama, and Justin Thomas, a somewhat resurgent Justin Thomas. We're not more than a week and a half away from JT saying he's never played worse, but he did T9 last week. He's at plus 1862. Sungjae Im, Tom Kim, Max Homa, Keegan Bradley, the aforementioned Keegan Bradley, and Cam Davis round out the top there. Anybody in the top of the leaderboard, before we get to your actual picks there, Anita, anybody in the top of the leaderboard there catch your eye? Any sort of value?
Well, I love Ricky Fowler. So
that's true. Your number one golfer, Ricky Fowler.
Yeah, so I'm obviously going to buy some shares of him, but that's pulling at my heartstrings. Like I said, I do believe Keegan Bradley, just how great of a form that he's in right now, and I'm sure feeling really good about this past week. maybe I'll buy some shares of him. But I've got, listen, this is not a star-studded field, as we just indicated, right? You don't have the best of the best teamed it up this week. So I've got some long shots that that we can get, I'm sure, for pennies on Sport Trade that I'm going to invest in more so.
Before we get to your pick, let's have the Justin Thomas conversation real quick, because a lot of people going into this week are saying he's back. He showed he is back into form. I think he was 9 under one of the rounds at the Travelers. Are you confident enough in JT to throw any coin on him this weekend?
I know a lot of people are. I'm not. Dude shot an 81 at the U.S. Open. Yeah. Like, I shoot 81 sometimes. Like, I know you and I were
humble
talking.
Brag.
You and I were talking. Well, I play a lot of golf. I'm like it's an addiction, and I know there's worse things to be addicted to, so that's a good thing. But yeah, every time I tee it off, my goal is to break 80. So I'm around 81, 82, 83, 79, 76.
Wow.
When I play.
Well, there's a big difference there, but okay.
But this is a tour pro shooting 81 in a major, and now you want me to invest my money and buy shares of him on Sport Trade heading into this tournament? No, not for me. But listen, I know that there's a lot of people out there, a lot of analysts, a lot of sports handicappers out there that do like Justin Thomas coming into this tournament. So I don't know, they might prove me wrong.
Bit of a personal announcement here. I've become a golf guy. I'm doing it. I'm becoming a golf guy. As you can see,
what does that mean? What does it mean? What does
golf
it mean
polo.
Becoming a golf guy?
I'm prioritizing comfort over everything else. Nothing will now touch this body if it's not Travis Matthew or Walter Hagen, or this is just an Adidas dry fit. It feels amazing. I feel loose and limber. And I went out there on my birthday the other day and shot at an 88. Felt great. Now, hey, some people would say, Dan, that sucks. Dan would say, hey, I don't golf that often. So I'm very excited about that.
88 for somebody who doesn't golf that often? That's,
thrilled. Listen, excited about it.
Golf is all muscle memory.
So I missed 3 birdie putts, Anita, by less than 6 inches. So that could have been an 85.
So if you're shooting an 88 with somebody who doesn't play that often, I'm impressed. I'm very impressed.
Well, I'm incredibly athletic. I don't have to tell you.
That's great.
Incredibly athletic.
Let's tee it. Let's come to the tri-state, come to New York, come to New Jersey. Let's tee it up.
I'd love to. I got to get up to North Jersey. You're repping
before football season. Once football season starts, you and I both, like, do we have a life? No.
No.
I'm not complaining about it, but it's, now's the time. Once September rolls around, forget about it. I have to pack my clubs up.
Here's the problem. You shoot one round really well, and you're like, if I had a new set of irons, I probably could have gone 3 or 4 strokes lower.
Mm-hmm.
If I had a better hybrid, I could have squeezed 15 more yards. I wouldn't have had to use my 56 in that situation. Maybe I could have used something different for my approach shot. And this is how it starts. And it's just, you said it's a sickness. It's a vice, but there are much worse things to be viced up on, in my opinion. I think we're okay.
Your bank account would disagree with you, but
that's true. That's true.
And probably at some point in time, your wife is going to disagree with you.
Now, she loves golf. Her father is a scratch golfer. He just won a senior championship. He shot a 66. Ooh. So she comes from healthy golf stock. Put it that way.
So my next comment is get the baby, get the bambina in it early.
If you don't think, Anita, she doesn't already own a set of Fisher-Price golf clubs.
I love it.
Oh yeah. She just started walking. As soon as she can walk and hold at something, it's happening.
That's my biggest regret in life. My family were all really big golfers, born and raised in Miami, and they all tried to get me to play golf. And I was like, golf is for the kids who are not athletic. Golf is for losers. Golf is for nerds. I want to go play football and baseball and basketball and soccer, and I want to play kill the man with the ball with the boys in the neighborhood. I didn't want to go play golf. It's my biggest regret in life. So stupid.
it's
I
you
didn't
versus you.
start
That's why I
playing
love
golf
it.
until after college. I didn't start
Wow.
playing golf till I was like 23, 24 years old.
Yeah.
It's my biggest regret. And if that's my biggest regret in life, God bless me.
That's pretty good.
Okay?
Yeah. The whole mental thing of it, you versus you, that to me is by far my favorite. Okay, bit of a tangent there. We do have the Rocket Mortgage Classic here. And you've got some really interesting plays. I'll throw one of them up there.
So, yeah, Ludwig Aber. The G is silent. This is my first time even pronouncing this dude's name. I'm playing him always on sports books, and man, I could buy him at $2 and on Sport Trade. This young man is unbelievable. He picked up a couple of wins towards the end of his amateur career. He's got 2 top 25 finishes in the PGA Tour. He's got a ton of upside. He destroyed college golf this season. This will be his 3rd start on the PGA Tour in the month of June. He's got one of the best. He drives the ball, one of the best in regard to strokes gained total on drives. He's gaining 6 strokes off the tee. He did it in Canada. He did it 5 strokes off the tee at the Travelers Championship. His short game is solid. He puts it together in 4 rounds. This young man could win this bad boy. So again, Ludwig Aber, get to know his name. He's going to be a complete stud on the PGA Tour. Another guy that I'm looking at is Austin Eckroth, right? Racking up some impressive finishes. And he's been flying, Dan, really low on the radar. Ranks 8th in the field in total strokes gained over the last 3 months. His last 5 outings, he's finished in the top 30, tied for 2nd at the Byron Nelson, and tied for 24th last week. Almost finished in the top 10, but unfortunately bogeyed a hole, and I think it got in his mindset. Another guy that I'm paying attention to is Taylor Moore. 3 non-majors. This is a Donald Ross track, by the way, and so Moore is just a magician. So 3 non-majors he has teed it up on a Donald Ross track, and he cracked in the top 10 in all 3. Finished in the last 5th in the last Wyndham Championships at Sedgefield. Strokes gained putting has been key for him. Ranks 27th in strokes gained putting this season. So putting is going to be a really, really big metric I'm looking at heading into this weekend's tournament. Another guy is Brian Harman. Solid showing last week at the Travelers, finished 11th in putting, 14th on approach, 6th around the greens, tied for 29th at the Charles Schwab. Also a really solid performance. And another guy that I like is Gordon Sargent. He is the amateur. He is the legit rookie that I think can make some noise here as well. So those are the 5 guys that I'm going to be buying some shares in on Sport Trade heading into the Rocket Mortgage in Detroit.
Sargent's been so impressive. I mean, that guy who is just sort of in the thick of things week in and week out, seemingly.
Yeah, and he's just you forget how young he is when you watch him play golf with his composure. Did you? It was the U.S. Open where it was like his last hole was like hole 18, and he putted it, and it hit the cup and rimmed out. It was like a little tap in, and like his composure.
He crushed it. He crushed it.
If that was me at that age, at 2021, I would have taken my club, I would have thrown it in the water, I would have broken over my knee. And then his post-round interviews, he just seems like he's a very old soul, a lot of composure, very well put together, and he's got a really unbelievable game. So he's definitely going to be in the next 3 to 5 years. Sargent is going to be a household name in the golf world. That's for sure.
I'll show you the quick conversion here. We have it in American odds, and you can easily flip back and forth between American odds and implied probability here on Sport Trade. So now you can see Ricky Fowler, 6.5% chance to win. Colin Morikawa, 6% chance to win. Tony Finau, 6%, so on and so forth. I pulled this up because I want to walk through my thought process here. We had a great comment actually from Tom Biola chiming in, who will be on tomorrow's Yerfy Nerfy live stream at 2 o'clock. He said, I had an absolute heart attack when I saw you guys were going live and thought I had my days mixed up. So thanks for watching, Tom. We appreciate it. Wednesday is Anita's day. It's market movers. We will see Tom and Captain Jack from Unabated tomorrow. So here's my thinking. 6%, 6.5%. I like Fowler this weekend. Not necessarily because of some of the other things. Like, he's swinging much better, right? He's got Tiger's old swing coach. He is proving week in and week out that he is in the thick of these things. As I mentioned with Sargent, he's shaving strokes here and there, and that's what's kind of killing him. But there's nothing better to me, Anita, than low risk, high reward. And if I can get that from the favorite, that's my favorite kind of bet. It's just 6.5 for one share of Ricky Fowler. Carded a 62 at the U.S. Open, carded a 60 last week. Swinging it unbelievably well, and he's at over plus 1,400. I love the value. I love how he's playing. And just like Denny McCarthy last week, who held an advantage, held a lead going into Saturday, if Fowler does the same thing, he's got a lot more cachet with his name. He can go from 6.5 to somewhere in the 20s. And now we've 2 times, maybe 3 times our original investment. That's why I really like Fowler this weekend. What do you think?
So do you know the story, his putter? Do you know the story behind his putter?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, you're in for a treat. Okay, so so a few weeks ago, Ricky Fowler is playing a friendly with his caddy, and his caddy has this putter. It's an old Odyssey putter. It's about 3 or 4 years old. He has the lead weight tape on the bottom of it. He shaved it down about an inch, and he put on this like extra thick grip, like this like ridiculously like beyond exaggerated grip. And his caddy was like sinking everything. And so Ricky said, "Let me see that." So Ricky grabbed his putter from his caddy, and he was using it. And he's like, "I want this. Can you make this for me?" So his caddy reached out to Odyssey. They made an identical putter for Ricky. Ricky had it. The week before the U.S. Open, Ricky was playing in a friendly with Wyndham Clark. Wyndham Clark saw Ricky using this really weird putter and said, "Ooh, let me try that." Wyndham Clark used it and said, "Ooh, I want that." That's the putter. So that's the putter that Ricky's been doing exceptionally well with for the last 2 months. That's the putter that Wyndham Clark was using when he just won the U.S. Open. And now Odyssey, they like supply and demand. Every golfer in the world wants that putter, but it's really because the putter itself is an Odyssey putter that was created 3 or 4 years ago. So now it's really hard for Odyssey in regard to supply and demand because it was a putter that they made so many years ago. And then, of course, now all the specs and the special dimensions of shaving it, putting the lead tape underneath it, the extra long grip. But apparently it's on back. Like you can't get your hands on it. It's an amazing story.
Well, if 4 years old is considered an old club, then my clubs are absolutely ancient. That's what I know. Dan. They always say what, like if your clubs are 6 or 7 years old, it's worth it, right? Like the technology has changed in such a way where it's time to upgrade. That means I'm like I have like a chocolate from Verizon. I don't even have an iPhone, not even a first gen iPhone. I literally have like a Nokia brick that I take with me to play 18 with. That's what my club's like. I'm playing with wooden clubs is basically what you just told me.
Yes. So it really is an interesting story. And I'm curious how many other guys on tour are looking to get their hands on this. I don't know, this
magic putter,
like hybrid putter. I don't know that Ricky Fowler's caddy created and invented in his garage. I don't know. It's nuts.
Let's just say this. If you were using that putter, you're top 10. There you go. We just started a rumor. We've got some Major League Baseball. We have one game going on currently. It's the Twins and the Braves. You've got a couple plays for us this evening, Anita.
I do. So let's start off with those Rangers who are just knocking the snot out of the ball. Unbelievable. They're 6-2 in their last 8 at home versus lefty starters. and they're 17-8 in their last 25 games at home in three series. So I'm gonna play the Rangers. I'll play them on the run line, so I don't mind taking them at -1.5. They're like one of the only teams in Major League Baseball, Dan, that I'll play on the run line. Also, Dan Dunning is going to be pitching for them tonight. He's 6-1 with a 2.76 ERA. He's got 41 strikeouts and a little over 71 innings. Their lineup 1 through 9 is just absolutely sick. They're averaging 6 runs a game.
Yeah.
And the Tigers are going with Joey Wentz, who's got a 6.72 ERA. So I love the Texas Rangers, and again, I'll play them on the run line. I don't know if you could call that up. What is that being offered on Sport Trade? -1.5 runs.
So we've got it up here. It's -106. The money line is -203.
Okay. So again, I would play them on the run line.
Gotcha.
The other game that I like is the over in the Orioles-Reds game. These two teams have been one of the best two teams in Major League Baseball in regard to hitting the over. It's at 9.5, right? What is it on Sport Trade?
We have it at 9.5 at -102.
There you go.
So
they
50%.
They combined for 13 runs on Monday. Tuesday, not so much, but today they've got Luke Weaver and Kyle Gibson. Gibson, of course, is 36 years old. And he only has right now, he's only sporting an 18% strikeout rate. Weaver, his ERA is 10.80. So we know just how red hot these Cincinnati Reds have been, as well as the Orioles. So I think a lot of runs are going to be scored in that matchup tonight. So I'm going to take the over in that matchup. And Dan, brace yourself.
Okay. I love that play. I have Ellie De La Cruz, not even fever. I'm like in a fever dream. I'm just sweating profusely, waiting for Ellie to come to the plate every day. I love Ellie De La Cruz.
Do you have him in your fantasy baseball team?
I don't play fantasy baseball because I don't have the mental capacity to do it every single day. But I just love watching him play. Like, when was the last time a rookie captured an entire nation like this? Like, Ohtani doesn't count, right? Because he played in Japan. Is it Aaron Judge? I can't remember the last time a legitimate rookie came up and everybody was like, that dude is a dude.
Right. That dude
is a dude.
You need to make a t-shirt. That dude
Print a shirt.
is a dude. That dude is a dude. Yeah, he's unbelievable. And for folks out there who did pick him up and you do have him on your fantasy baseball team, kudos to you. But brace yourself. I am rolling with the Oakland A's over the Yankees.
Trendy pick. That's a trendy pick today. I'm going to tell you that right now.
The Yankees are 0-5 in their last 5 road games. And this is really interesting. J.P. Sears, a lefty that the Yankees actually traded with their deal with Montas. He's going to be pitching tonight, and the Yankees, no bueno, Dan, against Southpaws. Herman is going to be pitching for the Yankees. His ERA now is up to 5.05. So he's been struggling, and he's actually even worse on the road than he is at home at Yankee Stadium. And of course, we all know this because this has been well documented. This Yankees lineup, not the same without Aaron Judge. You know that they are averaging 2 less runs per game without Aaron Judge in the lineup. Can we just marinate in that for a minute? Just like how significant that is, that a player has that much, not control, but that much effect on the outcome of a game for a franchise and an organization. Obviously, a lot of it has to do with the fact that, he's one of the best hitters in Major League Baseball, but also a lot of it has to do with the fact of, how pitchers have to pitch around him when, of course, he's in the lineup. And so, and that obviously helps Rizzo and helps Stanton and helps DJ and helps Donaldson. And so he's not in the lineup right now. So he's not offering that type of support to the lineup, and they are just struggling big time. So the only thing here is I am not a big fan of the Oakland A's bullpen. So if you do play this,
is that it?
If you
just
buy the share,
our bullpen.
Well, in this matchup.
Yeah.
If you do play this and you buy shares of the Oakland A's, my only suggestion is pay close attention to the game early, and once the A's have are up and you feel like you've made enough return on your investment, I would sell. This is not a game that I would play past the 7th inning, Dan.
So Oakland plus 133. I've seen that out in the ether a lot, that people are on the A's tonight. I've got plays as well. So if you watch us on social media, if you follow us, we do MLBI, the Major League Baseball Index, which is if you were to take one share of a team to win every day, what your ROI would be, how much money you would have made. And maybe unsurprising now, unless you're a casual, the Cincinnati Reds are the most profitable team based on ROI this year. Reds, Orioles, Diamondbacks, Marlins, Rangers. So you can see the Orioles have actually made more money betting the money lines every day. The Rays, for the first time all season, have dropped out of the top 5. Now you're probably thinking, well, they're the best team in baseball. How come they're not at least in the top 5? Because they're priced in such a way, Anita, that they are always such a prohibitive favorite that they basically have to win 2.5 games for every game they lose in order to break even. Right, so you're assuming a lot of Reds games, especially in the beginning of the season and during their winning streak, they actually were dogs. So I am betting strictly based upon the MLB top 5. We went 4-0 yesterday because the Reds are playing the Orioles, and I'm taking the better team in the rankings for games in which they play each other. So tonight, I have the Reds money line plus 157 against Baltimore. I'm with you on the Rangers, except I'm taking the money line, which I believe I said was minus 203. And then I've got the D-backs money line, which is plus 135. The Marlins are off tonight. So those are my plays. Again, all money lines: Reds, Rangers, Diamondbacks. 2 of those are plus money. So let's go make that money. And I believe last time I updated it, which was this morning. I don't want to get this incorrect. We won $190 profit, I want to say, yesterday. Just betting one share. And I believe over the course of June, we're up 7%. So 7% blindly betting the MLBI, which I wouldn't recommend anyone really do. Don't blind bet anything. But for the purpose of this exercise, up 7%. We'll close the show with a question. Tennis, anyone? We're going to have it. Sport Trade is going to blow your mind with our offerings for Wimbledon coming up next week. Anita, we will have men's and women's matches, every single match, with liquidity that is going to blow your socks off. Now, if you don't know what that means you're going to be able to get down a ton of money on every single match across the pond. Not only that, we're also going to have futures on men's and women's both championships. So you'll be able to watch tennis all day, every day, basically for 2 weeks, and always be able to get your action down 99.99999% of the time. Pursuant to that, we have some picks, and maybe they're not going to surprise you at all, because let's be honest, for the last 20 years,
are we on the same page here?
Yeah, I think we are. I mean, let's be honest, right? For the last 20 years, like 4 people win majors on the men's side. So maybe this isn't all that surprising, but I'll give you the floor for your men's winner.
Yeah, I mean, give me the Joker.
Yeah, why not?
He won his 23rd Grand Slam at the French Open just a few weeks ago. I came across this stat: 85.8% of the ATP level grass court matches in his career, he has dominated. He has won. So, he won on clay, which isn't his what's the word?
His forte, maybe.
It's not
his preferred.
No, but what's the word I'm looking for? It's not his soil of choice, right? It's not his
I don't know. Hey, look, do you want my analysis, Anita? Do you want my analysis on why I think Djokovic is going to win?
I'm searching for this word. It's just,
because he's really good, and because men's tennis isn't that good. Okay, and the current number one, yeah. Go ahead.
You talk. It's going to come to me. It's going to come to me while you talk. Go ahead.
Because let's just be honest. The only other real competitor here is Alcaraz, right? From Spain.
Carlos. Yes.
Other than that, I really just don't see a ton of competition. There's no more Federer. Okay. There, surface. Oh, there we go. We got it. We got it, everybody. Surface. It's just not a ton of competition. Look, and I am clearly a tennis authority, but I just think Djokovic, what else is there to say? You can bet him in the futures market. If you think his price is too high, don't bet him. Grab somebody else that you think can get into the top 16, top 8, top 4 to the semis, and then sell them off, which is one of the benefits of Sport Trade. On the women's side, we've got Elena Rybakina, again, tennis authority. She's the defending champion at Wimbledon, third-ranked female player according to the WTA. Since winning that major, though, last year at Wimbledon, here are her finishes. Lost in the opening round of the U.S. Open, lost in the final of the Aussie Open, lost in the round of 32 earlier this month at the French. So the women's side feels incredibly wide open, although she did also get to the round of 16 in her first Wimbledon 2 years ago. So it seems as though she is somewhat comfortable playing on the grass there at the championship. But to me, it's completely wide open. And quite frankly, based upon this analysis, I probably won't be betting it.
I am going to go with the past champion. My only, because again, this is her surface of choice. She is absolutely spectacular on grass. So, so this is a tournament, and Wimbledon is the tournament where she can dominate. My only concern is that she has not been 100% healthy. So that's my only hesitation. But if I was jumping on the Sport Trade app right now, that's where my money would flow.
So obviously, schedule is not posted. Odds are not posted yet. This is more of an announcement than anything else. These prices could come out, and Djokovic could be, trading at minus 500. At that point, I can't in good faith tell you to bet him. Unless he's minus 1,000 everywhere else, then, the value exists. But for the most part, stay tuned. You're going to see all those prices. You're going to see the insane liquidity on Sport Trade for Wimbledon next week, and you're going to love, love, love trading and betting on tennis at Sport Trade. We're out of time, Anita. Go ahead.
I have one last question.
Please.
What about women's soccer?
Oh, Women's World Cup is coming. Don't you worry. Women's World Cup will be in the app now. Similar to the the previous World Cup, right, which was in Qatar. This one is in Australia/New Zealand. So they're like 16 hours ahead. So there may be instances during the World Cup where a game starts overnight and you have to bet it beforehand because our exchange doesn't open until 9 a.m. So there are some games that, kind of fall within a weird window. So make sure you get those bets in early because you won't be able to bet them in play if they are played and concluded prior to 9 a.m. Eastern time. So just as a word to the wise.
I can't wait. I'm more excited for that.
Yes.
Than I am Wimbledon. So
that's going to be a ton of fun.
I'm really excited. I'm excited for our shows.
Yes, we had so much fun betting the World Cup. Women's World Cup is going to be fantastic, and of course, we hope
I'm all in.
USA. All right, Anita Marks, thank you so much for joining us on Wednesday, as you always do. Make sure you're tailing Anita, following Anita, and listening to Anita on the radio as well. We'll see you next week, my friend.